Guess what? As it turns out, at least one media outlet is reporting that the North Korean rocket wasn't a missile after all. Russia today announced that that was not the actual rocket. That, in fact, the real missile is actually still coming. Now, despite the fact that there were international inspectors and international media checking the rocket, the mainstream media still went on and exclaimed that it was a missile. But they were mistaken, but the real missile has been found now. Here's a quote from the Russia Today article. Pyongyang is developing a new long-range ballistic missile, a separate program from Friday's failed rocket launch aimed at bringing the satellite into orbit, South Korean TV station reported on Saturday. YTN, a 24-hour news channel in South Korea, quoted an intelligence source as saying that the country carried out 4 tests over 16 weeks until early this year to develop intercontinental missile at a test facility in Munsudae-ri on the northeastern coast. The South Korean unnamed intelligence source that cannot be verified and cannot speak publicly because it is against the law for intelligence personnel to speak publicly, so it's a completely unverified source. So this new missile is all about improving the engines and the propellant fuel for the missile. It has also been codenamed the KN-08. So that whole big mess that we just went through the last couple days, cutting off the food aid for trying to launch a satellite into orbit, well, it turns out it actually really was a rocket launching a satellite into orbit all this time, all over nothing, claiming that it was a missile. So now we get to go through it all over again. And quite frankly, I'm at the point now where I hope it is a missile. I genuinely hope this is a real missile that is eventually going to slam into one of its enemies, because quite frankly, after all this, cutting off the food aid for testing a rocket which didn't violate the law, did not violate any agreements, and having been inspected and knowing it's not a missile and continue calling it that, to hell with whoever gets that nuclear missile. Oh, and this is on top of those previously reported piles of dirt that prove an underground missile test, an underground nuclear test. Now, we've yet to get photos of these deadly dangerous piles of dirt, but we don't really get photo proof of anything, and then when we do, they insist that it's a missile anyway. So, all the drama we had to go through the last couple days, and all basically the a-holes in the media and on YouTube screaming that it was a missile test when it was actually proven that it wasn't, we now get to do it all over again. And quite frankly, Western media, you've cried wolf one too many times. I now no longer care if it's a missile or not, because I hope it is.